everyone, and welcome to Season 4 of the Internet Podcast, a show made by interns for interns. I'm Hannah Miller, the University Relations intern spending the summer here at the Battery office in Atlanta. This season, we're taking you on a journey through what we like to call life on the farm. A behind-the-scenes look at our internship experience, the lessons we're learning, the friendships we're building, and the moments that make this summer unforgettable. Whether you're tuning in from your desk, your dorm, or somewhere else under the sun, we're so glad you're here with us. So settle in, take a breath, and let's kick things off by meeting the voices behind the mic this season.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Comcast Internet Podcast. My name is Jordyn Winton, and I'm an intern with the Government Affairs team in Atlanta. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I am currently a rising senior at Murray State University studying marketing.
And I'm Jolie. I'm also a government affairs intern, but in Chicago. I'm a rising senior at Vanderbilt University studying communication of science and technology, and I'm from Atlanta. We're so excited to be here today, kicking off a new season of the podcast.
That we are. This season's theme is Life on the Farm, all about being a corporate intern for the summer. So welcome to the pod, everybody.
I love that theme, especially with the farm phrase. Did you know what that meant before starting here?
Yes/no, actually. For anyone that doesn't know, the phrase the farm is often used as a kind of tongue-in-cheek nickname for internship programs, especially large structured ones like ours, where we're quote unquote raised almost like crops or livestock.
Yes, all in hopes to be harvested for a full-time role after the internship.
Harvested is crazy.
Well, for lack of better term, that's also why at the Battery office in Atlanta, the intern space is farm themed.
Yes, with fake turf grass and everything.
Well, today we're welcoming our listeners into the farm with stories from new and returning interns. And what better place to start than day one? Jordyn, you're a returner, so how was the second first day on the farm for you?
It was really nice. I definitely felt more comfortable. I felt more excited to meet people than I was last year because there's a lot of returners this year. So it was just so much better. It felt more welcoming and it felt good to kind of get that one up, that upper hand when it came to being here, other than people here who it's their first time. But how was it for you, Jolie?
I totally get what you're saying, but for me, arrival day was filled with a lot of wows, which is what I would call it. So as soon as I walked into the Atlanta office and I saw that Comcast logo, everything just felt surreal. And when I saw the university relations team standing in the lobby, I was like, they already knew our names and our faces, which is what really stuck out to me. So even though it was a small gesture, it still showed how much intention went into our arrival.
Yes, I completely agree. It was so surreal to see so many people know our names and just be so excited that we were there. It really made it be just such a welcoming experience. But other than that, we asked some of the other interns what surprised them about orientation. Let's see what they had to say.
Yes, Shreya Patel, an intern with the project management team in the Atlanta office, said, I was blown away with how thought out, organized, and impactful each of the sessions were. Each session added value. I think I have to agree with her.
Yes, each session was so well thought out, and I really liked how each session was about things we actually needed to be successful here. So the first day was kind of like we already kind of knew what we needed to do. But did anything surprise you about orientation?
Yeah, so I was really surprised with how thought out orientation was, kind of echoing what I just said. But once we walked into the conference room for all of our events for the day, and we were greeted with like the pennants of our colleges, and of course, everyone's favorite, the peacock pillow, it just felt like, okay, this is a place that I can call home. So it wasn't just necessarily that gesture which made me feel welcome, but also the team building exercises. My personal favorite was the project building where we had to make the bridge because it got a little heated, but we were all able to show our strengths and our personalities. And for me, I was able to come out my shell a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't be there for the team building, but I do love how the UR team has us do those kind of things where we're not just learning about the business, but we're first to learn about each other, learn about other interns, get to know each other, and really build those relationships, kind of like how another intern, Caitlin of Comcast Business Marketing in the Chicago region, said, I was surprised how open anyone at the community is to talk to other interns. Everyone feels very accessible and excited to chat with me. What do you think about that?
I'm now 2 for 2 on the agreements because what Caitlin said is exactly how I felt. I thought it was really amazing to see how much the Comcasters want to contribute to everyone's intern experience, not only in their own offices, but across divisions. So, for example, my first one on one was with Perry Eason, who works in government affairs in the Atlanta office, and who, fun fact, was a co host of last season's podcast. But just speaking to her and asking her questions, not only just about government affairs, but her life post graduation, it really felt like I would be able to have a community here, not only in my office, but all across Comcast as a company.
Yes, I love that. Love Perry. We actually sit right next to each other in the office, so love her. But when it came to my one-on-ones, they were so good and great because my manager did such a good job with asking my goals and my ambitions and actually sending me a list of people that I should talk to. So I talked to people inside my team, outside my team, different regions, and it was just so welcoming because they really did a good job with not only getting to know me but also teaching me how I can excel, how to get to my goals and ambitions and to the different positions that I want to hold when I get older.
Exactly. That's what I love about being here. But we also asked some other interns how they felt about the beginning of orientation versus the end. So, Jordan, how did you feel about that?
I felt really well. I will definitely say it only went up as orientation kept going. Of course, like anyone, I was nervous, but everyone was so welcoming. Everyone was so nice. And it was so fun seeing all the little freebies we were able to get. So overall, I felt so much more comfortable towards the end than I did in the beginning. And I just felt so much more excited to work and to be here.
That's awesome. And also, were there any things that you realized going in for your first time as a Comcast intern versus your second time?
I would definitely say one of the biggest things because I know we always say, yes, you need to network, you need to learn from people, but also don't forget to build relationships. I think that's one of the things that I definitely did better this go around and that I continue want to do better this year is that last year I met with people, got their scoop, their story, and dipped, went on to the next. But this year, really prioritizing those relationships. Check back in with those people you network with. Get lunch if you can and you're in the same region. That's one of the biggest things. And I think that's really just the most impactful thing that I've learned this summer.
I'll make sure to write that down. But I also really resonated with what Lena Elmashot, an engineering intern with the construction team in Michigan, said. She said, at the beginning of orientation, I felt excited to get things started, and at the end, I felt even more excited.
Oh, love that so much. That's because that's really what orientation is all about, getting us comfortable and excited to really get that ball rolling on this amazing opportunity.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Caitlin from before, she brought up a really good point in her response, saying, I was so nervous at the beginning of orientation. I've definitely never been flown somewhere for work before, so I had no idea what to expect. At the end of orientation, I was so sad to leave all of my newly made friends, but I'm glad we get to stay connected throughout the internship, and I love seeing what everyone is up to in the other regions. So, how was your travel experience?
My travel experience was very easy. I didn't feel like I was stressed about anything, as well as the university relations team was always there to say, if you need help, make sure to call us or anything like that. So I flew from the Atlanta office to the Chicago office, and I'd say about a month and a half before I was able to get in contact with the team and say, okay, this is where I'd like to sit, or I'd like to leave at this time, especially since I know I'm not a morning person. So it was just really thoughtful how they were able to pick out something that they think would fit with my schedule, and I appreciated it. But did you have to travel too, Jordan?
I did have to travel. Yes, I drove with my dad from Memphis to here, 5.5 hour drive. Yeah. So it wasn't terrible, just more so boring because it's just a straight shot. But I did go to Bucky's. So that's all that made up for it. But another thing from Caitlin's response is that she said that it was so sad when everyone from the other regions left Atlanta. How did it feel to go to Chicago, Jolie?
I was honestly sad to leave Atlanta just because that's where I'm from, but I was really excited to be able to go to another city and see what Comcast is like there because I had gotten a taste of what it's like on the farm in Atlanta, and I want to see if the culture remained the same throughout. And I can say that it does. So far, so good, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the summer has to offer.
Well, I'll definitely speak for all of us here at Atlanta that we definitely miss you and everyone else that had to travel to the other regions. But of course, it's been so sweet to start forming our own little communities too.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, at orientation, I was able to meet other interns in the Chicago office. There's actually two of them, one in Schaumburg and then one that's in downtown Chicago. So the ones in my office are Aishani and Juan. And so we've kind of been in this together, figuring out how to navigate the city as it's all basically our first time. And yeah, it's been fun so far. We're also going to Jurassic Park soon, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, I love that. And here in the Atlanta location, we've been out to dinner a couple times after work. And last week, a lot of us went to Interns After Five event, which this time was hosted at World of Coca-Cola. And that was so much fun. Free food. The food was amazing. And we even got to have the drink tasting of a bunch of different Cokes and different beverages all around the world. What about you all?
That's so cool. I love the world of Coca-Cola. But for us in Chicago, we've been trying to come up with like a cool itinerary because there's always something going on here. As I said, Jurassic Park, we're going to be going to that. And we're also trying to listen to some DJs because Chicago is the home of house music.
Wow, that's so cool. And at the end of the day, the good thing is that you and me both, we're in such big cities. So there's so many opportunities and it's just endless of things we can do together.
Yes, but of course, orientation week was full of fun too. We asked other interns what their favorite memory from orientation was. Lena said bowling. How did you like the Punch Bowl social, Jordan?
Yes, I absolutely loved it. Again, I'm a foodie. The food was so good. And it was just such a nice way to just relax, kick back, and laugh with the interns after such a stressful day and really have that space to kind of cool down from the corporate, businessy, professional side and really just show our true personalities. But yeah, that was the social event after the first day. And it was just so fun to loosen up. Jolie, what did you think about the Punch Bowl social?
I thought the same as well. I thought it was a lot of fun. And for those who don't know what Punch Bowl Social is, this is what basically Jordan was saying. It's food, bowling, socializing, all of those together. But I thought what was so fun about it was I got to meet my mentor for the summer there as well. So as I was meeting her, I was also meeting all the other interns, and she knew some of the returning Comcasters, which was really fun. And of course, we had our competition bowling at the end, and things got a little personal, a little heated, but it was all friendly competition and it made me just 10 times closer to the interns this summer.
Yes, and Punch Bowl wasn't just the only fun thing we did. Another thing we did was that we went to the Braves game on the last day of orientation. We did a stadium tour that day too, and it was so fun, even though it was hot. But what did you think about that, Jolie? Was that your first Braves game?
That was my first Braves game, and I'm a little bit ashamed to say that as an Atlanta resident, but I was just really happy that I was able to have that first experience with Comcast as we started the day with the stadium tour, and then we were able to see the real game after and sit all together. And we also watched a big person come back, so that was a really special moment to see with everyone else.
Yes, and the Brave Stadium, it's just so huge. Like it's just so big, especially when we did the tour. The tour we saw so much, but we only saw maybe half of it, which was so crazy to me.
To wrap up this first episode and tie back into the farm theme, we're introducing a new segment, Crying Over Spilled Milk.
We'll be sharing silly or embarrassing stories from our interns to keep it real. Everybody understands we're new to this corporate world, and sometimes we just slip up a little bit.
Yes, there have been a couple of moments where I've just been like, yeah, that was an intern moment.
I know, me too. It happens to everyone, I'm sure.
Yes, this week's is from lovely Madison Proper, a returning intern with the Comcast business in the Florida region. She said, I accidentally ordered morning donuts for an Xfinity store at 1:30 a.m. instead of 1:30 p.m. I don't know if someone got late night donuts or not, but I hope they did.
That is so funny to me. No way, but that's just too good. I'm sure someone really enjoyed it. And if not, we can enjoy laughing about it for her.
We sure can. And next time, if you want to make a donut order, make sure you send them to the Chicago office instead. But that concludes the very first episode of the new season, Life on the Farm.
Yay! Be sure to join us next week where we'll be talking about the daily life as an intern and what we get up to here on the farm.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye!
And that's a wrap on this week's episode of the Internet Podcast. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us and getting a glimpse into life on the farm. This episode was brought to you by the Intern Podcast team, and we have the incredible support of the University Relations crew in the Central Division. We truly couldn't do it without them. If you're new here or just want more, past seasons of the Internet Podcast are now streaming on your favorite platforms, so feel free to explore and catch up. We've got more stories, laughs, and lessons coming your way, so stay tuned for the next episode of Season 4. Until then, take care and keep growing.